Hello and welcome everybody to the National Real Estate Post here with our friend Barry Habib. Hello, Barry. How are you?
If they would only have heard us before this, we just spent the last 15 minutes cracking each other up. So
I know. We're like wiping our eyes dry from laughing. So anyway, let's get started. We got to open up with some housekeeping. Guys, Liberty Home Equity Solutions is having a webinar this Thursday, 10 a.m. They're going to show you how to get into the reverse mortgage space quickly and easily and how to get these deals done fast and easy. They've got a great process. You want to tune into it. Click the banner you see right here over on your right. Might have to scroll down a little bit. In fact, I'll put a banner down below if you're on the post. But Barry, you have the best tagline for Liberty Home Equity Solutions. What is it?
Well, I think it's either give me liberty or give me debt. That's famous American Patrick Henry, also the owner of the Boston Red Sox. He was the one who came up with that.
He's done well in life, hasn't he? Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah,
I love that we have Barney Fife with us today, and on this, I love that. And you know, it's really scary that I know that it's Barney Fife. I mean,
that's right.
A millennial's going to say this is something for gun control or something like that, but
right,
it's Barney Fife.
Barney Fife in one of his classic poses too. I mean, hands down,
absolutely, yeah,
one of the greatest TV characters of all time. By far.
He is.
So anyway, let's jump in. We wanted to get you on the show. We always love having you on the show, but I got an email from Jeremy Loftus, and he is with Athens Federal Community Bank. And he sent us an email the other day, and he said, "Good afternoon." Yeah, Greece, Matt. You know, they're worried about the U.S. economy. They're worried about our housing market, you know. Anyway, he said, hey, good afternoon. When will Barry Habib be back on the show to discuss rates and housing? Haven't seen him since mid-January. Now, I know we've been on since mid-January. He must have just missed a show. But, hey, you got somebody here. They want you back on the show. We've delivered. Here you are. We're going to talk.
He's the one guy. Thank Jeremy. No, thank you, Jeremy. That's very, very kind of you. Appreciate that. So let's do that. Let's talk about housing. Let's talk about rates because we've got a lot going on. We got the Fed coming up this week. We know that the Fed for sure is going to hike rates a quarter. That's a done deal. But let's listen to what they say because the economic data has been good. So if they're going to be more aggressive, this could be problematic. So some benchmarks in place here, and just easy to follow. 10-year Treasury, watch that 3.04% level. We've talked about it before. It's been a good ceiling. If we break above it, it will be problematic for us. I tell you, we could see rates begin a trek that'll be much higher. But let's see where that goes. And as we've discussed before, the government's going to borrow a lot more money this year than last year. The government has to borrow another $440 billion. They do that through the sale of treasuries, all at the same time that the Fed's going to be buying less. Now, remember, they started buying a little bit less in October, a little bit. They've ramped that up in January, and then you saw rates start to rise, right? Well, right around the corner, April 1st, they ramped that up again. So that means that the Fed will be buying less and less. I think that in April, we could see some rockiness ahead for us. So let's just be careful. And let's really remember to articulate the opportunity that exists in real estate. Look, the same person that is killing you right now for an eighth in rate for what, $20 a month, $40 a month, whatever that eighth in rate amounts to, and they're making your life miserable because of that. They're literally giving up opportunities for tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars in real estate if they only saw that. We definitely have to change their perspective, much like we did on the webinar the other day, Frank. We did the Angel Oak webinar, and we showed Angel Oak, a great company that can help people in doing transactions where they couldn't, albeit in some cases because it's not going to fit the conventional box. The rates were higher, sometimes significantly higher, but we showed how wise it would be to still move forward and do that transaction because they make literally hundreds of thousands of dollars buying instead of renting, or moving today instead of waiting 1, 2, or 3 years. It was outstanding how much they could. It
was really amazing to see that tool in action, and what was cool about it is how fast you were able to figure that stuff out for somebody, and how dramatic it was to say, well, if you wait, betting on something to change down the road, this is what you're looking at down the road. And it was really phenomenal. In fact, everybody that was on there, we were always asking, hey, who's got questions? Give us a question. The biggest question is, hey, how do I get that product? How much is that product? You know, so I'm going to tell you.
talking about Loan Advisor that we've added to MBS Highway. It's been really well received.
Yeah. So what we'll do, guys, is you do have to take a look at it. And especially in this rising rate environment, it's going to help you a lot with your clients, because I know a lot of people are feeling like they're out of the market right now because of rising rates. But this tool will definitely help. I'll put a link down below for you guys where you can try MBS out for that. So
Hey,
let's go ahead.
speaking of out of the market, you mentioned a really good point, because a lot of people are saying, well, you know what, suddenly my company seems like they're more out of the market all of a sudden. I talk to people at a lot of different companies, big companies, we're 1.5 out of the market or 3/8 out of the market. And maybe they know they're not the best rate all the time, but they're saying this a lot. There is a reason, there is an explanation for it, and it will level out. So let's understand what happens. When rates rise suddenly, like they did, if you're not at a bank, you're going to feel that more rapidly. Banks oftentimes will get there. They'll react. It will eventually get back to equilibrium. If you were better or worse, a sense of normalcy will come back. However, in the interim, for a short period of time, 30 or 60 days, they will lag those rises, so they'll seem a bit more competitive. They'll have a disadvantage when rates do a sudden drop. Doesn't have to be a downtrending market, but if they do a sudden drop, then they will lag and you'll have an advantage. But there's also another issue where will come up against a disadvantage over the short term in a rising rate environment, and that's if a company went ahead and made a bet on a big forward commitment. So if they said, hey, we're going to get a big forward commitment for 4.5%, now they could fill that pipe for 30 or 60 days and look like geniuses, and really they were at 4.5%, but it was a gamble, while you're going with the market. So they're going to have an advantage. You're going to say, hey, we're so far out of the market. What I'm trying to say to you is it's temporary. If you had an advantage or a disadvantage before this sudden move up, that advantage or disadvantage will come back to a normal level and won't be as exacerbated as it feels for you right now. So basically just hang in there is what I'm trying to say. It'll be okay.
So stay the course. Hang tight, stay the course. Things probably equal out. We're going a little long here, but I do want to just really quickly ask you this. We did a show where Zillow is doing some reports, and they're finding that sellers are starting to get a little surprised that homes are taking a little longer to sell. They're not quite getting the price that they thought they were going to get, indicating that we might see some softening here. Any input for us on that and housing in general?
Yes, you have to remember that with these reports, this is sometimes sellers get a little crazy and they're putting homes on the market at unrealistic levels to test it. So you do get that. The data that we shows that housing is extremely, extremely strong. It's going to get stronger. Inventory is very tight. Demand is going to get stronger. This housing market has a long way to go. You could see the actual levels of forecast within MBS Highway for every single county in the country. But here's the thing. We got to be careful of the media. I'm going to try and say this quickly. There were 2 reports recently that made housing look bad. And we know our friend Diana Olick loves to kind of put a negative spin on it. She's done that for 6 years and obviously has not really been correct for 6 years. But what we see happening is things like, for example, just last week, we got housing starts. It appeared to be off 7%. Diana Olick and a lot of other people. Housing looks like it's over for housing, right? It's the end of the world. Well, why was it down 7%? It was because, first of all, we came off the highest level in 10 years. So unless you think we're going to break a record, another record every month, there's going to be pullbacks, okay? So it was all in multifamily. Multifamily was down 26%, and that is historically very, very volatile. The backbone of the housing market, single families, off of the highest level in 10 years, actually improved another 3%. But the media won't tell you that. Your customer hears it, your realtor hears it, they don't know what to say. That's why they need you to be able to explain it to them, because the media doesn't like to read the reports. If you actually read the reports or get our information because we break it down for you, you're able to then combat this. And these are the types of things that make you that resource that the realtor needs. This is just one small part of it, of course. You need the data, you need the information, you need to help them show the customer the opportunity and sell the home, not to sell it, but to give them the opportunity to create wealth. It was something the previous week that came out also, which was on pending home sales, and made a big deal out of why pending home sales were up. It was up everywhere else except the Northeast. And during the sample period in the Northeast, I live here, frigid temperatures, snow. Believe me, nobody wanted to go out and look at a home, okay? We're just lucky if we can get out of our driveway. But we don't say that, okay? So we're in a great spot in housing. Team, focus on your purchases. Like you always say, brother, you were one of the first ones to say way ahead of this that you got to focus on purchases, and you were right.
All right, great. Thanks so much for your insights, Barry. I hope you guys all have a great day. Always a pleasure having you on the show, Barry. Guys, leave us your comments down below. Leave Barry some comments. He might be able to get some time to poke in there.
I will.
He will, and he'll answer you. So if you got any questions for him, do us a favor, forward, share, subscribe. We'll catch you guys later here at the National Real Estate Post. See you, Barry.
Bye, brother. Bye, Barney.